Hello again, everyone. Hope you are well on this Tuesday afternoon, early evening. It is New Year's Eve day. New Year's Eve. Happy New Year. 2025 is here. And I have a few things here to cover. A polar express / polar vortex big time cold is coming in through the country, y'all. Through the United States, that is. And I will go into that. You need to be prepared for it. Even if you're like, well, dog, I live in this or there and I'm prepared. Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. And it's going to reach in some places that aren't used to this. All right. Definitely. And what's going on with the fog? Speaking of weather, what in the world is going on? Have y'all seen that? I mean, I'm seeing a lot more about the fog, and I'll go into that. All right, I'll let you know what I think. All right. Also, I have a fantastic passage that I will share with you, and I also have a big shout out to Mrs. Dawg about something. I will also share that towards the end of the video. Stay tuned for that. Big shout out for her. All right. Especially coming to the end of a year. Another milestone for 2024. All right. The Polar Express is what I'm calling it. But the Polar Train, I mean, this thing sounds... And you know, one side of me is like, don't buy so much into the hype. All these, the weather forecasts and all this, the outlooks and all that. But this does look like it's pretty safe bet. This thing's going to really bring some serious cold in all the way the majority of the country is the way it looks. And it's even going to reach down into the south, deep south, southeast, into Florida, past much of the peninsula of Florida are going to see, they're saying, at least the reports would be below freezing, consistent below freezing temperatures, dangerous wind chills, even into Florida, y'all. Now, we're in North Georgia. We definitely going to see it. And no matter where you live, and I don't know about the West Coast and all that, y'all might, and out west, I don't know. But much of the midsection, the Midwest, and then all the way down southeast, all the way down. So we need to prepare for this. Sounds like it's going to start early this weekend, early next week, as far as some parts of the country. As far as the southeast where I'm located, they're talking about between January 7th through about the 13th, maybe even longer, maybe even to the third week of January, where this stuff's going to be around for a little while. And they're saying that you could see sub-zero temperatures in up to 30 states, y'all. This is an Arctic blast. They're saying this will bring cold and make it enough to where could be the coldest January in 10 years. Sub-zero, I don't think we will see sub-zero here now. I hope not. But they're saying we could be in definitely dangerous wind chill effects, and definitely below freezing here, which we get below freezing here. I mean, not a lot in the winter. I mean, we have snaps, these cold snaps where it can get in the 20s and it can get down in the teens and single digits even here, but it's usually overnight, and it usually bounces back up once the sun comes out. It bounces back up pretty high and thaws everything pretty quick. But I don't think, this is different. This is different right here, okay? So, no matter where you live, if you're in the path of this, double check your preps. Even if you're used to cold weather, your home, your automobile, clothing, your heat source in your home, okay? Water pipes, your plumbing. What does that look like? I know where we live, we're in North Georgia, we're on a slab like a lot of places. We don't have a crawl space, so we really have to be careful with really cold temperatures here. I usually leave the cabinet wherever there's a sink, especially when it's against a wall that leads outside, I leave the cabinet doors open, leave the water dripping, both hot and cold, leave it on to where it's dripping, not just drip, but a stream, a small stream running. Now, we did that, it was a couple of years ago on Christmas Day. We had zero, I mean, we had temperatures right at zero, a little below zero for a day or two. And I did that, I left it, the water streaming the whole time, and the cabinet doors open, and we had no problems. It may differ where you live, okay? Even in Florida, y'all be careful. You know, the places like that are not used to this kind of cold. So definitely take a look at this and look over your preparation. All right, this is classic preparation. These are what I talk about a lot on this channel, is the more likely things you need to be prepared for. You know, do we need to be prepared for a zombie apocalypse? The EMP? Those could happen, but not as likely as something like this, a weather event. Okay, you could see we could see power outages for an extended period of time, or even if it's just for a day or two. With this kind of cold, that could be life-threatening. So think about your heat sources, generators. Even a small one would help. Your lighting. So energy, lighting, food, water, of course, self-protection. Look at your automobile. You know, I know Mrs. Dawg, and I have about a 30-minute commute, but Mrs. Dawg commutes in hour to hour and a half one way. All right. So, of course, she drives the better car, of course. But still, you know, how old is the battery? I know the one that Miss Dawg drives, I'm going to get it checked. We probably need a battery, and I'm going to do that probably here in the next few days, because I'm going to do it before this cold gets in, just to make sure. Because extreme hot or cold weather will kill off a weak battery pretty quick. So things like that. In your vehicle, think about what's in your vehicle, especially if you're driving, if you're having to get out in this stuff. You know, self-protection. A little extra water, protein bars. I always keep water, protein bars, self-protection, of course. What else? I usually keep extra, a blanket, a poncho, hat, gloves, stuff like that. Knife, a small knife. I don't know if I've got one on me right now. It's in this glove box somewhere. I don't know. My self-protection's in the way right there. You know what I mean? I keep it close. By the way, when you're pumping gas, I like to use these right here. Can you see that? Maybe you can see that. Basically, latex gloves. I put them on. I got the large. Ms. Dawg ordered the large, so they'll fit my large hands. My hands are larger than the average human. So, but I use them. You just slip them on. It just takes a second. And I don't have to touch the dang gas pump, because one of those things that creeps me out is gas pumps, man. And then when I'm in the bathroom, people walking out after being in the stall, walking out without washing their hands. Those things. Oh man. And touching menus in a restaurant, y'all. Keep some hand gel on you or something. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, look at the preps. Scraper for your windshield. You know, the little things. Tire pressure. A tire pressure pump. You know, or inflate. You know, the little pumps that charge up solar, or you can put them in your power point of your car. You pump up the tire if it's a little low. Keep your devices. Let's keep our devices, electronic devices, charged a lot in case we lose power. All right. I was just jotted down some things here as far as some notes, but I'm sure I'm leaving out some stuff. But you know, just look over your stuff. I'm going to do this in the next couple of days, especially tomorrow, just to be ready, automobile and home, right? So look at your preparations, because this looks like the real deal coming in here, y'all. Woo. Okay. All right. What's next? The fog. What is going on with the fog, y'all? Holy moly. And you know, my tinfoil hat can be as tight as anybody's at times, but I've been seeing more videos of this fog that just hangs around even throughout the day. I saw a video earlier today of a lady that was in where was this? It was on a beach, and I want to say it was either Florida. I think it was in Florida, Daytona Beach, Florida. And she was in one of those high-rise condos that are right on the beach, where you get the awesome view. Well, she did some time lapse, like a video, to where it was clear as a bell at first when she got up in the morning. You know, the view you would expect. Sunny, not cloudy. These weren't clouds, but this fog came in, y'all, like out of nowhere, and was freaky looking. Now this is on the beach in Florida, Daytona Beach, Florida. I don't know. Am I nuts? What do y'all? I mean, share what you think. But is this a weather phenomenon? I mean, I'm not an expert. I'm not a meteorologist. Let us know if you are. But it seems to be pretty widespread. A lot of states, in the United States, pretty widespread, and in Europe as well. And that's curious. Here, haven't seen it so as much. Now, I did notice the last couple of weeks there has been some little extra foggy days, and not just in the morning, but into the day, a little more than usual here. But like right now, it's just kind of partly cloudy. There's nothing abnormal that I've noticed here in the last couple of days, few days here. So share what you think. Are you seeing this where you live? Is it different from normal? And from what I've seen in these videos, the fog is not just, it's a little different. It's like a thicker fog, and it just hangs around. It doesn't dissipate. Slow to dissipate, if at all, for a while. Makes you wonder, with this fog, what does that do? It prevents us from seeing what's flying around in the air. Hello. We've talked about those things that are flying around in the air that are spraying something. I'm just saying, I could be way off. I could be totally off. I'm just putting it out there. What do y'all think? A lot of people are sick, y'all. And I know it's winter, but a lot of people are sick. Miss Dawg and I were talking about this last night. It's like everybody seems sick except us. We're one of the few lucky that we haven't had anything, knock on wood. We haven't had anything in quite a while. I don't know. Tell me what you think. But this fog is weird, y'all. Wasn't that a movie? I think it was an old movie, The Fog. I'm going way back probably on that. But sometimes these times seem like a bad movie sometimes, doesn't it? I don't know. I'm apprehensive about 2025, y'all. I'm going to tell you. That's another video, but I'm apprehensive. I'll go more into that. I'm working on a video for that, y'all. I'm going to a passage because it always makes me feel better. Psalm chapter 25. Psalm chapter 25, verse 4 and 5 says, "Make me know thy ways, O Lord. Teach me thy paths. Lead me in thy truth and teach me. For thou art the God of my salvation. For thee I will wait all the day." Man, I love the last part of that. Is verse 5. For thou art the God of my salvation. Amen. For thee I will wait all the day. I will wait all day, and as long as it's necessary, y'all. Teach me thy paths. You pray that. I tell you, it makes such a huge difference. We need him. I want to shout out Mrs. Dawg because she completed, this is 2 years in a row, she's completed the Bible cover to cover through the Bible app and in reading it, listening to the recaps. Highly recommend it. The Bible app, the Bible recap. You can do it online. It's awesome. And she's done it now 2 years in a row, back to back. And she said it's awesome. She loves it. You get in a flow, you get a routine. It's like you do it every day. And she made an interesting comment about a little over halfway through to me. And I remember this. She said, I get to where I get so much more out of the Old Testament than I used to. When you really study it, she said, I enjoy it I get as much out of it as I do the New Testament, maybe more at times. And it's still so, it just kind of draws you closer to Jesus. The whole Bible does, Old Testament and New Testament. So let's stay close to Jesus, especially as we go into a new year, right? All right. Share your thoughts. Let's be careful. Let's stay aware out there. God bless y'all. I'll see you soon.